If this were not true, gas vehicles are more sustainable than electric. Do you have a way to tell?
If what were not true?
Your claim, gas vehicles are more sustainable than electric.
If that weren't true, how would I tell?
Yeah.
And I couldn't take. See, that's interesting. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Way to tell.
I don't know is a fine answer.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think though. I'm trying to think of a way. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay. Are you still at 70?
I could. I mean, I'm open to change. I could. I wanted to say that earlier. I mean, I'm very open to change.
Yeah,
You
sure.
you question me enough, I'll change my mind. You don't even have to say anything. Um,
You're cool if we record?
yeah.
Okay, cool. What's your name?
Aidan.
Aidan. Spell that for me.
Aidan.
Aiden?
An.
A-N.
Yep.
A-I-D-A-N.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Good to meet you, Aiden. I'm David.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so we're going to explore a claim that you have
Mm-hmm.
that you think is true. And you said you want to talk about electric vehicles?
Yeah, so I'd like to think that the kind of transition into electric vehicles is not the best, and I prefer I prefer gas-powered vehicles over electrical powered vehicles simply just because of the process that it takes for the creation of the batteries for the electric vehicles. How that impacts societies, let's say in third world countries like in Africa, where they're creating the mines for lithium-ion batteries and the batteries used to run those cars. And I don't know. I also just want to hear somebody else's opinion on it. So.
Okay. Well, as a street epistemologist, my job is to explore the quality of your reasons
Okay.
that you use to support the confidence that you have in your claim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. And then at the end, you can ask me whatever questions you
All right. Cool.
want. So, to kind of rephrase this, gas vehicles are more sustainable?
Yeah. Yeah. I believe so.
Okay. Gas vehicles are more sustainable than electric.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean it's see this is what this is where it's tough for me. So this is a conversation I like to have just because it's a new aspect. I mean the going to electric vehicles. I mean it's been around. There's been hybrid vehicles, but now like they're saying by 2035 they want to have full electric vehicles, all the gas vehicles off the road, or at least the production of them to be stopped. Which I think in pushing for that, um, and the increase of the I guess the creation of those cars and the manufacturing of the cars will have such an impact on uh, civilizations, like I mentioned in Africa, where they have the mines, and we also do have them in the U.S. We only have one in California, I believe, but will cause more harm than good. Maybe not in the long run, but definitely for my generation and maybe the next generation to come.
Okay. It sounds like gas versus electric is important to you because of your future.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Um, Scale 0 to 100. how confident are you that gas vehicles are more sustainable than electric?
I would have to go with, I don't know, I'd say 65, 70. Wouldn't say too strong because I mean, there's always room for change. I'm very open-minded when it comes to discussions. Like, if somebody wants to say something, I'll listen to it and I'll take it into a lot of consideration. So,
Okay. So do you want to go with 70?
yeah, I'll go 70.
Okay. All right. And what's the main reason that gets you to 70?
I think solely because of the manufacturing of the batteries for the cars is
Okay.
significantly worse than the manufacturing for, say, the motors for the for the gas-powered vehicles.
Okay. So hypothetically, if we found out that the batteries weren't as bad as you thought,
Mm-hmm.
where would your confidence go?
It would definitely go down. I mean, it'd probably go down to 50, like 40, 45. I mean, I think there's significant other reasons why electric vehicles could be bad. But I think the other thing for me is also personal biases. I just love gas-powered cars too. So
Okay.
for me, it's also like a personal opinion of mine, not just for facts, but obviously can't argue on opinion. But yeah.
So what's a stronger reason, the sustainability or just because you think gas cars
Oh,
cool?
sustainability, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we had a pie chart, uh, how big of the piece of pie would be the sustainability?
I'd say for my argument, 90% for my argument at least, but overall, a little bit different. But I'd say I'll keep for my argument. I'll say 90.
Okay. What's the difference between for your argument and what you're convinced about?
I mean, I think for a lot of things that, like for a lot of people's opinions, for something like this, for me at least, for cars, obviously I would rather drive a gas-powered car because how I feel when I'm driving it. I like the noises it makes. I like working on cars. I work on cars, so I think working on gas-powered cars is significantly easier. So I mean, if you want, you could also argue about the, I guess, employment for mechanics and stuff for gas-powered cars compared to electric-powered cars because I mean, personally, I have no knowledge of it. But
So how big of the piece of pie would be your feelings about gas cars?
um, like for the argument, I'd say,
Well, I guess I'm trying to figure out when you say, like, it sounds like there's a difference here.
mm-hmm,
You have an argument and then you have a feeling.
yeah.
And are you saying that you're not using any of your feelings towards your argument?
I would say I'm using my feelings towards my argument, but I don't want to use my feelings in the argument. Like if I'm trying to convince somebody, I'm not going to be like, we should have gas cars because I like gas cars. But it definitely would fuel like my passion for the argument, if that makes sense. I'd be more inclined to try to find reasons to convince you that gas cars are better because I like gas cars.
And see, I'm trying to figure out what your strongest reason for thinking that gas vehicles are more sustainable,
Mm, okay.
because that's the original
Yeah,
argument.
yeah, you're right, you're right. Then I guess my main reason for the sustainability would be the production of the batteries.
Okay, okay. And if the batteries, it turned out, wasn't as bad as you thought,
Then I would definitely,
go from 70 to 45.
sure, yeah.
Okay, so what's supporting the 45?
Supporting the 45 is support that I don't have enough to, I don't know, like to really talk about. I feel like because I don't have as much knowledge as I'd like on the topic, obviously.
So lack of
I've
knowledge.
read arguments, I've discussed, I've discussed certain topics, but nothing as, not as much with the sustainability aspect. I mean, like, that's where I would like to learn more because I feel like that's the main argument, especially now.
Okay.
So it's
So lack of knowledge is supporting 45% of your confidence, almost half.
sure, yeah. We could lower that number if we want because it doesn't sound too good, but yeah.
Where would you where would you put it now?
put it at 20. I
Okay.
mean, or even lower. You can put it at 10 because it's obviously unknown knowledge to me.
Okay. So lack of knowledge is supporting 10% of your confidence?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How are we measuring this? How are we measuring sustainability in this context?
How are we measuring sustainability?
Like how can you tell if it's more sustainable or less sustainable?
I think by looking at um, the effects that the production has on the environment. I mean, that's like, I think for sustainability, it's more about, I mean, for sustainability, it's about the environment. So like for these mines, the impact that it has on the water and on the people and the safety of people living in civilizations that are like nearby mines. So like when they have these lithium mines, one thing is that like since they're in typically third world countries, there's not a lot of protection for these, so it's very run by whatever business is there.
So the number of mines?
Sorry?
The number of mines is how we're measuring
I
this?
guess so. I guess you could say the number of mines in the production. I mean, because when you talk about, oh, like creating the iPhones are bad because of the mines, when you scale up the amount of batteries or the size of the batteries that you need to create or the amount of lithium ion that you need for the batteries, the mines will get bigger or you'll need more mines, which would
Okay.
probably mean worse impact on the environment.
Okay. Why is the number of mines a good way to measure sustainability?
Number of mines, good way to measure sustainability.
So that's how you're measuring it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you'd have to be able to correlate it, which would, I mean, that's tough for me to say. I'm not too sure. Way to measure it by number of mines. I mean, if you look at the impact that it has on the environment, like if you were to look at one mine, the impact it has on the environment, and the sustainability compared to if you were not creating the same amount for the cars, would that be like a way to like kind of correlate the two? So like,
One mine is less bad than two mines for the
yeah,
environment?
yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Uh, if if this were not true, gas vehicles are more sustainable than electric. Do you have a way to tell?
If what were not true.
Your claim, gas vehicles are more sustainable than electric.
If that weren't true, how would I tell?
Yeah.
And I couldn't take. See, that's interesting. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Way to tell.
I don't know is a fine answer.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think though. I'm trying to think of a way. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay. Are you still at 70?
I mean, I'm open to change. I could. I wanted to say that earlier. I mean, I'm very open to change.
Yeah,
you
sure.
you question me enough, I'll change my mind. You don't even have to say anything.
Well, we can wrap it up there.
Sure. All right.
Any feedback on the process?
No, I thought that was good. I mean, that's super interesting way of going about it. Like, not actually discussing, but kind of just asking questions and challenging is.
Yeah.
It's good. It's interesting. Makes me want to go do more research on my things so I can actually answer some more questions.
Awesome.
It's really coming down. Do you have something in mind?
All right. Cool. Well,
That
thank
was
you.
fun.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Aidan.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
No. Other than, I mean, how do you think today's gone for all this?
This has been incredible.
Yeah. A lot of good inputs and opinions.
Yeah, it's such a cool opportunity to like be out here and doing this with so much going on. It's kind of a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Normally, it's just this part that I do.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like having more than one setup running at the same time, it's a little bit hectic.
Yeah,
but,
I'm sure.
No, it's awesome. It's
How
so
are the
good
people's
to be here.
responses? Good.
Yeah, really good feedback.
Where do you usually do it out of? Like, because if you're doing the one-on-ones, where do you get the most, like, your demographic?
Well, I'm all over the country
So all over the country.
Yeah.
A lot in Ohio or no?
lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and last year I was in Ohio, did some SE at Wright State, and again this year, a couple other spots, some parks and stuff.
It's cool.
But I really like college campuses because of
There's a wide range of.
yeah, people are open to discussing stuff. They're not as closed-minded.
Yeah, especially at a school like this. I mean, you're in the right spot if you want to hear people talk. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. Thanks again.
All right, no problem, man. Thank you.
Yeah.